Good morning, I'm Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. Prithvi Highway obstructed due to landslide in Nagdi River near Muglin. 13 dead in flood and landslides in Baglung, Gulmi and Kavre yesterday. 34 districts at high risk of rain-induced disasters. Imports from Birganj Customs decreases by 14% in the fiscal year 2080-81. Revenue collection increases by 4%. Nobel Prize winner Dr. Muhammad Yunus appointed as the head of the interim government of Bangladesh. Anti-discrimination student movement coordinator welcomes Yunus. Life goes back to normalcy. And Nepal up against India in the title decider of the Kava Women's Volleyball Nations League today. Nepal looking to repeat their victory over India once again. 8 individuals have died in landslides in Baglung's Bodyguard rural municipality, while 4 had been injured yesterday. According to Assistant Chief District Officer of Baglung, Chitrangat Baral, 6 died in Bodyguard rural municipality 10 and 2 in ward number 9. The deceased have been identified as 7-year-old Malati Buddha, 13-year-old Manoj Buddha and Aman Buddha, and 51-year-old Maiti Devi Bika. An unidentified 6-year-old boy has also died in the incident. 15-year-old Bidan Paryar and 24-year-old Ganga Basned died in landslide in Bodyguard 9. 4 individuals who have been injured after being buried by landslide are being treated. 4 individuals died on the spot after landslide buried the house of Bishnu Bika and Hukum Bika in Bisauna of Musikot 1, Gulmi. 48-year-old Gore Bika, 67-year-old Hukum Bika, 66-year-old Masuri Bika and 2.5 years old Riansa Bika have been identified as the deceased. Police have said that 4 teams of police under the command of Assistant Sub-Inspector of Police Lakhan Lal Chaudhary and the local residents have been making efforts to rescue those who have been trapped under the debris. Local resident Madhav Kharil said that 2 injured individuals had been rescued and sent to hospital for treatment. Meanwhile, a woman died after being swept away by the flood in Khatpul of Thulikhel Municipality 5 of Kavre. The information officer of Kavre Police, Rajkumar Shrestha, has said that the deceased has been identified as 50-year-old Bhagwati Bagdas of Khada Devi Rural Municipality 3, Ramechhap, who had been living in Panoti. The government has prohibited operation of night buses in 34 districts across the country, citing high possibility of heavy rainfall until today. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority has imposed the prohibition in 34 districts of 5 provinces, citing high risk. The authority has said that the ability to predict flood and landslide decreases during night time. The Meteorological Forecasting Division has predicted high risk due to heavy rainfall in Koshi, Bagmati, Gandaki, Lumbini and Sudur Pashchim provinces. The authority has said that those at risk of monsoon disasters will be moved to safer locations under the coordination of the District Disaster Management Committee and Local Disaster Management Committee. The authority has urged people not to travel unless necessary, those living near riverbanks to remain vigilant, and not to go fishing and collect woods near rivers in districts where heavy rainfall has been predicted. The Prithvi Highway has been obstructed following landslide in Nagdi of Chitwan's Icha Kamala Rural Municipality 4. The landslide occurred at around 7 this morning. Chitwan police have said that effort to remove the debris is underway by coordinating with the Department of Road. The road section and the Narangad-Muglin road section have continued to be obstructed by landslide during monsoon season. The landslide in Narangad-Muglin road section on 12th of July had swept away 2 buses into the Trishuli River. Those buses have not been recovered yet, while only 19 bodies have been recovered. Meanwhile, the Bartung-Ridi road section in Gulmi has remained obstructed in Jorte since yesterday. Police have said that along with the landslide, 2 huge stones had fallen from above and obstructed the road. The road division has said that debris could not be removed, although excavators were used because the stones were massive. According to Harthok police station, efforts are being made to remove obstruction by using breaker and excavator. The route is used to reach Palpa, Gulmi, Arghakhanchi and Baglung. Experts on foreign affairs have given mixed reaction to the protest and political crisis in Bangladesh. Political leaders back home have opined the current political upheaval was brought on by growing dissatisfaction towards leadership, unemployment and poverty. They've said people in South Asian region are aware of the corruption and undemocratic practices.
We have to now learn some lesson that, hey, if we can't address the common concern, common problems of the people might go berserk, people might go astray, people might, organize such kind of movement against us. So it certainly gives a big political cue, should give a big political cue lesson to the ruling elites of Nepal.
Meanwhile, some experts opined that not every political development can be relevant to Nepal, saying that its democratic system was different from that of Bangladesh.
हामी भित्र रहेका कमी कमजोरीलाई सहज रूपमा स्वीकारेर जनभावना अनुसार चल्ने कुरा सरकार होस् या राजनीतिक दलको नेतृत्व होस् उ जनताको बीचमा जाने उनीहरुका कुरा सुन्ने त्यस अनुसारको मतलब चाहिँ नीति र कार्यक्रम बनाएर अगाडि जाने कुरालाई यसबाट हामीले शिक्षा लिनुपर्छ तर त्यहाँको सन्दर्भ जोडेर हामी यहाँ आतंकित हुने अनि हिजो श्रीलङ्कामा यस्तो भएको थियो भनेर यहाँ चाहिँ नभएका कुराहरुको चाहिँ परिकल्पना गरेर अनि त्यो अनुसार जान्छ भनेर चाहिँ परिकल्पना गर्ने यस्तो खालको वातावरणलाई अस्थिर मतलब चाहिँ अन्यलग्रस्त बनाउने कोशिश जुन हुन्छ त्यो कोशिशलाई चाहिँ हामीले सही हो भनेर जान दिनु हुँदैन.
However, Nepal's former ambassador to Bangladesh, Bansidhar Mishra, said that the current state was invited by rising corruption and undemocratic practices, regardless of the country's leap in infrastructure development. The political change in Bangladesh has pushed the nearing BIMSTEC meeting. There are also speculations that the trade between Nepal and Bangladesh will face a glitch, even if it is for a small period of time.
बिमस्टेकको कुरा होस् चाहे सार्कको कुरा होस् चाहे हाम्रो बायोलेटरल रिलेसनका मतलब चाहिँ कतिपय हाम्रो चाहिँ सहमति हुन टुंगिन लागेका यो बायोलेटरल ट्रेडसित जोडिएका कुरा विद्युत चाहिँ भारत बंगलादेशले किन्ने कुराको अन्तिम सम्झौतामा अन्तिममा पुगेका कुरा ती कुराहरू भनेको त निरन्तरता राज्यले निरन्तरता दिने कुराहरू भित्र पर्छ ती निरन्तरता दिने कुराको समय अलिकति उभो होला यो उतार चढावले अलिकति लम्बिन्छ होला उनीहरुको फेरि अवस्था मतलब चाहिँ सहज नबनुन्जेलका लागि केही ढिला हुन सक्छ तर त्यो बाटोतर्फै जाँदैन यस्तो हुँदैन.
Corruption and activities that violated the sentiments of democracy have been attributed as the main reasons for movements in Sri Lanka, Pakistan and Bangladesh. Nepal police has returned a Bangladeshi national who was trying to enter Nepal through the transit in Biratnagar to India. Police has sent back a 46-year-old Bangladeshi national who was trying to enter Nepal through Rani Customs. Police has also directed all the concerned entities to identify Bangladeshi nationals and prevent them from entering Nepal. Meanwhile, Jhapa's Kakadvitta Customs Department has said that 4 Bangladesh nationals had entered Nepal between 1st and 4th of August. The Customs Department has said that prohibitions imposed on nationals of third countries to enter Nepal through roadway, which was in place since the COVID pandemic began, was lifted on 1st of August. In the meantime, Nepal-Bangladesh trade has been halted from Monday. 11 vehicles laden with goods to be exported to Bangladesh has remained stranded at Kakadvitta Customs, while 3 vehicles have been stranded at the India-Bangladesh border of Fulbari. Likewise, goods-laden trucks that was headed to Nepal from Bangladesh has also been stranded at Fulbari Transit. This is because India has imposed blockade. In the meantime, Banki administration has intensified surveillance after holding talks with the Indian counterpart. Banki's chief district officer and the head of the armed police force had reached the border and directed to intensify surveillance. All the border outposts of armed police force in Banki have been directed to remain alert. Political upheaval seen in Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh in the past 5 years has raised security risks in the whole of the South Asia. The latest political crisis in Bangladesh resulted in Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina resigning and leaving the country overnight. This has raised security challenges for India and even for Nepal.
South Asian nations are in an alarmed state at the moment as they witness student protests over government quotas escalate and spread all over the country, forcing Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to flee to neighbouring nation India and resign. This development has raised security risks for India that shares its borders with Bangladesh and even for Nepal that is just 27 kilometers away. India has already placed security forces along its border with Bangladesh, and Nepal has sent additional armed police force teams to the borders in the Koshi and Madhya provinces. Nepalese security entities have projected for some displacement of those in Bangladesh to Nepal. The Siliguri corridor route from Bangladesh to Nepal is of 27 kilometers distance, which is the route used by refugees from Bhutan and Myanmar in the past. Around 192 Rohingya refugees have been accommodated in the Kathmandu's Kapan area, with a total of 380 spread out in various places across Nepal. Their length of stay is uncertain. Afghani people displaced after the Taliban took over the government have been living in Nepal as well. Records show 10 Afghanis arrived to Nepal after the Taliban takeover. It may be recalled back in 1990 when Bhutan sent away people who spoke in Nepalese language had reached India seeking for refuge. India then dropped them at the Mechi Bridge as they entered Nepal seeking for refuge. They've been adjusted in 5 camps with the support of donor agencies. In the countings done in 2006 and 2007, the number of Bhutanese refugees in Nepal stood at around 113,000. Majority of them went to third country, and around 6,500 are still in Nepal. Meanwhile, those displaced by crisis and wars have been taken by experts as a threat to internal security, which calls for better measures.
Imports from Birganj Customs in the fiscal year 2080-81 was 14% less than 2079-80. However, revenue collection rose by 4%. Goods worth 699 billion rupees had entered through the Birganj Customs in the fiscal year 2079-80 and exports stood at 37.99 billion rupees. However, in 2080-81, imports were down by 13% to stand at 609 billion rupees and exports by 14% to go down to 31.85 billion rupees. Meanwhile, revenue collection, which was 60% in 2079-80, went up to 64% in 2080-81. Birganj Customs had aimed at collecting 261 billion rupees in revenue, of which it managed to raise 157 billion rupees. Although the government had expected to increase the revenue by 10%, around 245.88 billion rupees was projected to be raised from the customs, which could not be met due to reduced imports. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question: what should be done to control the prices of consumable items? Your options are A, effective monitoring, B, raise production, and C, aware consumers. Voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Additional 5 state ministers have been appointed in Madhya province. With this, the Province Council of Ministers has become the most oversized so far. Chief Minister Shakti Kumar Singh had appointed 2 state ministers from Congress and 1 each from CPN-UML, Janamat and Loktantrik Samajwadi yesterday. Prior to this, 12 ministers and 3 state ministers had already been appointed in Madhya province that has 12 ministries. With the addition of 5 ministers, a 20-member council of ministers has been formed. The newly appointed state ministers were administered the oath of office and secrecy yesterday itself. Janamat's chief minister Shakti Kumar's government has the support from Congress, UML and Loktantrik Samajwadi Party. Singh, who is a lawmaker from Janamat Party, was appointed to the post on 7th of June. Time now for international update. Nobel Prize winner Dr. Muhammad Yunus has been appointed as the head of the interim government of Bangladesh. President Mohammad Shahabuddin has appointed Dr. Yunus as the head of the interim government. President's press secretary Joanal Abedin confirmed the information. The decision was taken after a meeting between President Mohammad Shahabuddin, army chiefs of all three agencies of the country, and the coordinators of anti-discrimination student movement at Bang Bhavan. The coordinator of anti-discrimination student movement also welcomed Dr. Yunus as the head of the interim government. Earlier, they had proposed that Yunus should be appointed as the head of the interim government. Dr. Yunus is currently in Paris, France. He has not released any statement about his appointment. However, he has said that he will soon return to Bangladesh and take over the leadership. President's press secretary Abedin said that the remaining members of the interim government will be finalized after discussions with various political parties. After Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina resigned and fled to India, President Shahabuddin dissolved parliament and paved way for the process of forming an interim government. Nationwide protests against the reservation given to the families of freedom fighters in the government jobs in Bangladesh have ended the 15-year rule of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. She is currently in India as an asylum seeker. As Britain has not given her permission to enter country, she has remained in India for now. Meanwhile, life in Dhaka has been normal since yesterday. Although it is said that markets will resume operation from today, no decision has been made regarding the opening of schools. Days ahead of her 79th birthday, Bangladesh's first female Prime Minister Khaleda Zia got a welcome gift: release from house arrest after anti-government protest ousted her bitter rival Sheikh Hasina from power. President Mohammad Shahabuddin ordered the immediate release of Zia, chief of the main opposition Bangladesh Nationalist Party (BNP), late yesterday after discussing the formation of an interim government with politicians and the army. Hasina fled to India earlier in the day after resigning. Zia, born on August 15, 1945, has liver disease, diabetes and heart problems, according to her doctors. She has largely remained away from politics for many years. Popularly known by her first name, Khaleda was described as shy and devoted to raising her two sons until her husband, military leader and then president of Bangladesh, Ziaur Rahman, was assassinated in an attempted army coup in 1981. Plunging into politics, she became head of her husband's conservative BNP 3 years later, vowing to deliver on his aim of liberating Bangladesh from poverty and economic backwardness. She joined hands with Hasina, daughter of Bangladesh's founding father and head of the Awami League Party, to lead a popular uprising for democracy that toppled military ruler Hossein Mohammad Ershad from power in 1990. But their cooperation did not last long, and the next year, Bangladesh held what was hailed as its first free election, with Khaleda winning a surprise victory over Hasina, having gained the support of Islamic political allies. In doing so, Khaleda became Bangladesh's first female prime minister and only the second woman to lead a democratic government of a mainly Muslim nation after Pakistan's Benazir Bhutto. U.S. presidential candidate Kamala Harris has selected Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her vice presidential running mate. Harris selected Governor Walz of Minnesota as the vice presidential candidate on behalf of the Democratic Party. 60-year-old Walz helped to implement the agenda of the ambitious Democratic Party in his state that includes broad protections for abortion rights and generous aid to families. Walz, who was chosen as the vice presidential candidate, is a former school teacher. Walz is also known for his aggressive rhetoric against former President Donald Trump. His aggressive rhetoric has attracted the attention of Democrats. Walz's presence in Michigan and Wisconsin will prove to be very helpful for the Democratic Party. It is claimed that Harris's decision could prove to be beneficial. Harris will face former President Donald Trump in the November election. Trump has made J.D. Vance the vice presidential candidate from the Republican Party. Walz will face J.D. Vance for the vice presidency. Harris hopes the move will strengthen her campaign in the upper Midwest region of the country. Harris received the official presidential nomination from the Democratic Party last Tuesday. Both the candidates of the Democrats have jointly started their campaign. Time now for sports update.
Sports news.
Host Nepal is scheduled to face South Asian rivals India in the title decider of Prava Women's Volleyball Nations League today. The match will begin at 5 p.m. later today at the National Sports Council's covered hall in Tripureshwar. In yesterday's semi-final match, Nepal defeated Iran 25-21, 28-26, 25-20. With the win, two-times Central Zone volleyball champion Nepal made its place in the final of the Prava Women's Volleyball for the first time at home soil. India booked its place in the title decider, defeating Sri Lanka in the previous edition. Nepal had returned home from the semi-final round. In the league round this time, Nepal had lost to Iran but won against Sri Lanka, India and Maldives to make its way to the semi-final. Niruta Thaguna has given her best performance in the ongoing tournament. She has also collected the highest points in the tournament. Nepal has given a blockbuster performance in the tournament so far under the setting of Captain Aruna Shahi and Usha Bhandari and Saraswati Chaudhary's spike. Captain Aruna and coach Jagdish Bhatta have claimed that the team's internal issues have been resolved and that Nepal would win the trophy today. Prior to the title decider, Iran are scheduled to play against Sri Lanka for the third place at 2 p.m. today. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked in several provinces what should be done to develop national volleyball. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Ground भएको ठाउँमा कभरअल बनाउनु पर्यो, नभएको ठाउँमा ग्राउन्ड बनाउनु पर्यो.
तिनैवटा सरकारको भूमिका महत्त्वपूर्ण हुन्छ. त्यसमा प्लस खेलाडीहरू पनि जागरुक हुनुपर्छ.
प्रशिक्षण दिएर जनशक्ति तयार पार्नुपर्छ.
हरेक विद्यालयमा भलिबलका कोर्ट मैदानहरू बनाउनु पर्छ.
केन्द्रीय सरकार, स्थानीय सरकार र प्रदेश सरकारले चाहिँ पहल गर्नुपर्छ.
भलिबललाई चाहिँ हामीले संरक्षण सम्वर्धन स्थानीय तहबाटै गर्नुपर्छ.
सरकारले नीति बनाऊ र त्यो नीतिलाई स्थानीय सरकारदेखि पालना गर्नुपर्छ है भन्ने एक खालको सन्देश दियो भने
भलिबलका लागि अझै यो भन्दा राम्रो बजेट छुट्याउनु पर्यो.
भलिबल राष्ट्रिय खेलमा केही लगानी चाहिँ देखेन, त्यसमा लगानी गर्नुपर्छ.
युवा-युवतीलाई पुरा तालिम दिने, त्यसको लागि बजेट छुट्याउने
लगानी लगाउनु पर्यो.
साथै प्रदेशमा कम्तीमा पनि चाहिँ एउटा अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय स्तरको चाहिँ पूर्वाधार चाहिँ कपडाहरू भइदियो भने यसले चाहिँ ठुलो उपलब्धि गर्ने चाहिँ अवस्था देखिएको छ.
फ्युचरको लागि धेरै फेसिलिटीहरू एड गर्यो भने चाहिँ नेपाल भलिबल चाहिँ जोस राम्रो हुन्छ.
फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी भनेको अब नेपाल गभर्नमेन्टले अलिकति सबै अब भलिबलको कोडहरूदेखि लिएर खेलाडीहरूलाई एकदमै मोटिभेट गर्नु पनि हुन्छ.
खेलाडीको प्रोत्साहनका लागि राम्रो स्यालेरीको व्यवस्थापन गर्नु पर्यो.
जुनियर लेभलको गेमहरू गराउनु पर्यो हैन. अब प्रदेशहरुमा पनि त्यस्तै अनुसारको अब कोचहरुलाई ट्रेनिङ गरेको कोचहरुलाई पठाउनु पर्यो.
Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Prithvi Highway obstructed due to landslide in Nagdi River near Muglin. 13 dead in flood and landslides in Baglung, Gulmi and Kavri yesterday. 34 districts at high risk of rain-induced disasters. Imports from Birganj Customs decreases by 14% in the fiscal year 2080-81. Revenue collection increases by 4%. Nobel Prize winner Dr. Muhammad Yunus appointed as the head of the interim government of Bangladesh. Anti-discrimination student movement coordinator welcomes Yunus. Life goes back to normalcy. And Nepal up against India in the title decider of the Prava Women's Volleyball Nations League today. Nepal looking to repeat their victory over India once again. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good day.